experiences through innovation and tailored service offerings. I'll introduce the speakers on the next on this slide. Here we are. So first we have Thomas Szymczak, the acting CEO and Senior Vice President for Sales and Marketing at Warsaw Modlin Airport. Next, we'll hear from Ioana Papadopoulou, the Director of Communications and Marketing at Athens International Airport. And finally, Roberto Martin Devara, the Head of Facilitation and Passenger Experience at AENA. As mentioned, I encourage the viewers to add questions into the Q&A. I've got some up my sleeve as well, so I'll be keenly watching the speakers. But please do input some questions and we'll come to it at the end. So to kick off, Thomas, if you will.
Thank you, Mike. If I have the first slide, please, which is about Warsaw. As I was introduced, we are the low-cost airport of the central Poland and capital city of Warsaw. If I may ask for the first slide. Warsaw itself is a pretty interesting city because it's less expensive than other European Union capital cities. It's especially comparing to some Western places, and Warsaw in 2023 was recognized as for example, best cultural destination, which is a novelty, right? Then, of course, very good destination for food lovers, and which is the most important for people looking for city breaks, for short visits at different cities, the safest destination in Europe, which is important that we can call our capital city, Warsaw, capital of safety. So this is pretty important, and this is the surrounding of the Warsaw Modlin Airport. We are, if I may have a second slide, benefits, please.
Sorry, just to interrupt, Thomas. Can you see the slide?
Yes, the second one, please. This you see the capital of safety, for example, which is pretty important, especially nowadays. And then please the next one. Then you see the description of what we are. We are the secondary airport for Warsaw, apart from hub of LOT Polish Airlines, which is Warsaw Chopin Airport, which is kind of a city airport, 11 kilometers from the downtown. We are situated around 39-40 kilometers northeast of the capital city, which is connected by the full style express road, and we are the only airport in central Poland, not only at the region of the capital city, which is accessible 24/7. So we have no curfew, night curfew. We can handle planes all over the night, which is kind of a competitive advantage comparing to other airports, not only around the capital city, but also in the whole area of central Poland. We are not coordinated airport, so you can freely access the parameters of our airport as airlines. And then we are well connected with Warsaw Chopin Airport, because 6 minutes drive by bus from our airport, Warsaw Modlin, there is a train station, and then direct train connection 40 minutes to the hub airport of LOT Polish Airlines. So both our airports are pretty well connected, both by road, express road, but also nearly fully by the railway connections. We are small. Last year we handled 3.4 million passengers, primarily low-cost passengers, because we are a base of Ryanair. We have also a fraction of charter operations across Europe and Middle East and Northern Africa, including Israel as well. And but primarily we are focused on pure low-cost, or even we may say even ultra low-cost traffic. If I may have a next slide, please. Relax area, which is a pretty specific, small airport, low cost. We have this relax areas open throughout the year, but of course we normally have heavy winters, so it's less accessible during the winter. But during the summer, along the whole terminal, from departures to arrivals, we have the on the land side, we have a very nice place when people can just look, overlooking the apron, just checking the timetable and access to the terminal, just in a very kind of relaxed way. So this is kind of specific, kind of rural oriented place, which is not accessible, not visible at any big hub airports. If I may have the next slide, please. Our main partner regarding the food and beverage and duty free is Lagardère, which is the French and global company with the logo of Aelia and some other famous logos like So Coffee. So we have 2 years ago we decided to divide our behind the security control services. On the ground floor we have gates and we have duty-free shops, and on the first floor we have our food and beverage facilities, 3 of them separated. So it works very well, and it's constantly full of customers, of passengers. And then we also introduced an earlier seat reservation, so people can be assured that coming into this place they have their own place to sit down and eat or drink. So this is the important thing, because we have this several of waves, 6-7 waves during the day of packed planes, as usually at low cost operations, that the plane is 90% full. So this is kind of the solution which is working very well. If I may have the next slide, please. The newly introduced facility, we have 3 parking lots operated by ourselves by the airport. Number 1, which is in front of the terminal, which do not have the electronic reservation, online reservation. And then number 3, which is a bit 300 meters away from the terminal, with the place also for car rental companies. And then number 7, which is 3 kilometers away, which is a long-term parking lot. And 2 of them, this middle one and this remote one, they are already kind of equipped with online car parking reservation, which is especially important for charter customers. It's less, of course, it's a value added also for low-cost passengers, but this was a specific push from travel agencies, from charter operators, that we should introduce this service, just to secure, to make charter passengers secure that they will come over to the airport with families, naturally, and then they will have their own place to stay for a week or 2 weeks during their vacations. If I may have the next one, please. Just introduced together with our partner, one of the logos of Lagardère, which is Costa Coffee. We introduced the wireless chargers at the tables, very practical, very kind of user-friendly solution especially for a younger generation, which is used constantly. Sometimes we have to amend it because it's we can say that it's also used 24/7. Very practical, very kind of upfront solution for especially younger generation of customers. If I may have the next one. Very well known, maybe you know this brand, which is InPost, which is a Polish electronic parcel lockers company, with I think 1,500 lockers already in UK, for example, very popular in Italy, in France, and that they are growing out of Poland in a very quick way. And then we just introduced one traditional locker at the parking lot in front of the terminal, and very specific service, which is a locker within the security control, along the security control. So at the beginning of the restricted area, right, for items which cannot be taken on board. So we are the third airport in Poland introducing it together with two logos, as you see, the logo of Warsaw Modlin Airport and the logo of InPost. Just, with people in panic that they have some valuables, which are not allowed to be taken through the security control. There is a perfect way to put them in 3 minutes and send them anywhere to the family, to their own home, or to leave it as a locker and then after a week or several days come over and take it back. So very kind of innovative solution, and we have a lot of praises for that, and thanks in the press, in our social medias that this was introduced, and it helps people not to lose their kind of stuff which they are devoted to, or they are valuable, simply speaking. So this is very practical, very user-friendly solution as well. And the next one, please. Next one is pretty obvious in the way that of course we have dedicated counters and dedicated screens for any groups, for any excursions, for someone who we would like to point out that we would like to welcome him or her or the group, or to make an advertisement. So this is also for our customers to use in any way which is not breaking the safety and security rules. So this is also, we make money on that as well, which is pretty good kind of flexible use of these screens. And the next one, please. The newly introduced just half a year ago, before the summer season, charging stations available for passengers, both before the security control and in the gates, after security control on the restricted area, and they are very flexible because they are available for all types of electronic devices. So we have just extended the contract. Started from 6, now we have more than doubled the number of these facilities. They are also popular across the passengers, especially for youngsters. Very practical, very kind of dual use facility, because of course you can make it as a screen for advertising, for different information, different kind of information, not only commercial one, but also the way of communicating passengers some important information. So this is the other facility. If I may have the next one, please. Our new addition to the services we provide Mazovia Premium Lounge. Mazovia is a region, Mazowieckie in Polish, Mazovia in English is a region of around Warsaw, kind of a land in German terms, right? One of the 16 lands in Poland, the biggest one, the most wealthy. And then the marshals, so the governor of the region, allowed us to use the name Mazovia Premium Lounge. We have just signed an agreement with London headquartered famous company Priority Pass. They also have this lunch buddy, the other logo. They also accept Diners Club and some other cards. So we have more than 50, sometimes even more passengers with these cards, and of course you can access it with a payment. 150 zloty, which is around less than 30 euro for a visit up to 2 hours. So this is very good. This is kind of on the plus side already as a business line, premium lounge. So it's behind the security control, very popular service. And of course we as a landlord managing the airport in the way, right? Every company managing the airport is kind of a landlord. This, for us, it's also an additional service provided to our passengers, because especially after COVID, as we observe at all of our airports, I think there is a mix of passengers. There's no usual low-cost passengers, throughout airports like ours, but also a lot of business traffic coming back in one way, for example, to Britain, and the other way on the legacy carrier, which is standard now. So very kind of specific for a low-cost airport service, but very from the economic point of view, and also from practical point of view, service point of view, very good idea to start with this service. Next one, please. And we use our premium lounge for cultural and art experience. We have an agreement with an art gallery, and we sold several, pictures already. And there are already 2 or 3 articles in the Polish press that this is this mix of, service, travel service and culture, and it works well because we have interest from other, art galleries to join. So in this respect, also kind of, not very specific, non-usual way of joining to different businesses. The next one, please. Next one is more kind of, especially for the premium passengers using the lounge and working there, or just sitting quietly and making a nap, for example. But then, of course, we offer them the way to purchase goods in their name or on behalf of them, and of course being delivered to them for free. In this respect, there is no additional price for that service. This is just kind of one of the services offered by the premium lounge, and this is in cooperation with our partner Lagardère, and also works well. We have several packages, let's say, or bags a day being ordered from different passengers. Of course, we are, as you know, in European Union, we have this division between Schengen and non-Schengen. Britain, for example, is out of Schengen, right? Ukraine is out of Schengen, Israel and other countries, but the majority of European Union member states are within Schengen. So there is a slight difference also in pricing, because fully duty-free is out of Schengen, out of the European Union. So this is the price is slightly cheaper than when you leave the European Union common customs area. So, but we offer both for travelers traveling within the European Union and outside, of course, because the traffic outside of the European Union is pretty big as well. And the next one, please, if I may. Fast Track, which is a pretty obvious service we offer both for premium passengers. They have included way to go through the security using Fast Track, and of course all other passengers can buy the service for a moderate price, which we try to monitor at different airports in Poland and in whole Central Europe, how more or less what's the pricing of such services to be in line with, not to be too expensive, and it's pretty popular now. We would like to put our Fast Track on the first floor, so completely divide the normal traffic, 6 lines, on the ground floor, and then additional Fast Track security check in the separated line, +1 level. So this is also what we are working for now. And then the last, if I may, the last slide. Self-service backdrops. We are in the discussion with our premier customer, which is Ryanair, about self-service backdrops. Practically, they will be common use, so they will be open to install the applications of different airlines. But the first customer we are talking about this is Ryanair. They have this at several European airports, Britain, Ireland, Bergamo, northern Italy, but it's not so popular. But of course, you can check in your own luggage by yourself, and then of course for the airline ground handling staff, it means limiting their number of people, because normally you need 1 or 2 supervisors for 6 or 10 such devices. So it's plus side for both players, both the airport and then and then the airline. So it will be installed still, this summer season. We have the places, we have electronics, prepared, and then how to connect it to the to our check-in facilities. So this is pretty interesting as well, and also user-friendly, and of course in this trend to make it as much services as possible by yourself, popular all over the airline business, especially at low-cost carriers. So this is. But of course, we are interested to have it as a common use, because we are in talks with other providers, other airlines. So it should be accessible for every other carrier. So this is more or less all of the services I would like to present it now. Of course, we are a low-cost airport, so in this respect, of course, maybe some of the services are pretty obvious for you, but we trace what's going on around the world, not only in Europe but also in US. I saw such a self-backdrop machines in the colors of JetBlue, for example. So similar solution, of course, right? And we try to introduce some new, services, because we have to be flexible. We are not a big legacy airport, so we try to be as much user-friendly, as much kind of, self sustained airport as possible. So this is from modeling side, and of course I'm open to answer questions if need be at the later stage. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you, Thomas. I really like the diversity of the initiatives that you were presenting, and not only that it's benefiting a passenger, but it's also the revenue and even partnerships with the airlines and things. So really appreciate that share. I had coffee and phone chargers as my core need, so ticked on that, and the parcel office was really interesting.
Thank you.
Next up, we'll have Joanna, so she'll share some really great work coming out of Athens International Airport. Joanna, over to you.
Thank you, Mike. Hello, everyone, and thank you very much, International Airport Review, for the invitation. I will try to change the slides, and I think, do I have the control? Yeah. So I will try to be brief. My presentation is divided into three parts. First of all, I will try to explain how we try to harness the power of data and technology in order to create, at the extent possible, personalized experiences for our passengers. An interesting case is passenger segmentation, so I will discuss a little bit about that, and then just a few examples about tailored travel experiences in our airports, and a few words about our strategy and the way forward. Now, discussing about our airport, first of all, I have to say that 2023 has been a new record year for our airport. There was an increase of more than 10% versus 2019 in passenger traffic, and it's worth mentioning that within the first 6 months of this year, there has been another 16% increase versus 2023. So overall, there has been an increase of more than 26% versus the pre-pandemic passenger levels. And of course, I will not go through each pie chart here, but what I'm trying to say here is that there is a very diverse traffic mix, and we are trying to, let's say, discover, identify the wants and needs of different passengers in different market segments. And this is why we are trying to capture the voice of the passengers through three main verticals. First of all, trying to identify passenger profiles, passenger mix, the behavior of travelers, and trying to unearth changes in existing and new passenger segments. So this is passenger profiling, and this is very important for our route development business cases. But of course, this is also interesting and very important for the commercial optimization as well. And there we are also trying to identify the attractiveness of existing and new outlets, new products, new services, and thus we are trying to modify our commercial offering respectively. And last but not least, trying to track the passenger satisfaction across various journey touch points and trying to measure passenger experience. Now, we are using both conventional and unconventional methods to do that, and I will try to explain. First of all, there is a very extended, a very sophisticated set of market surveys. These are market surveys conducted on a daily basis, 24/7, 365 days a year. You can see them in the green on the left-hand side of the graph. So there are five main survey projects. There are, of course, certain channels of communication that we use in order to extract certain data, and this is the blue on the right-hand side, passenger comments, social media, Google reviews, and there are, of course, important monitoring tools that we use in order to measure, in order to identify needs and wants of our passengers. I will not go through all these monitoring tools, but I will dwell a little bit on the artificial intelligence pilot project that we started back in the summer 2022, and this is why I mentioned not exactly the conventional type, which is the market surveys, in order to get all the findings and the data. So we cooperated with a Canadian startup, and the idea here was to try and measure the emotional engagement of the passengers in each touch point of their journey. So this was a measurement of what we call subconscious drivers of passenger experience. So we used all what we call unstructured passenger-generated data, passenger reviews, comments, emails, chatbot interactions, and this was the first phase of the project. And then during the second phase of the project, we used voice data. So actually, we didn't, at that point in time, we were not exactly interested in what the passenger was saying, but how they said it, what were the words that they use, the tone of the voice, the language, the syntax. And these were fed into an AI-based dashboard application in order to try and see 18 different emotions in the 4 different axes, the 4 Ps, as we call them, in the premises, in the processes, for the product, services, and for our people. This was a very interesting project, and we had very important insights and for corrective actions through these 4 different axes, the premises, processes, the products and services, and the people. There was an overall emotional engagement score, but of course there was an emotional engagement score for each journey touch point. It's not only, of course, about monitoring emotions in the airport. We want to create them as well, and this is why there is an art and culture program. We call it Cultural Destinations, Cultural DNA. This is a program, an art and culture program that has already started since 2011. I don't have here a video or other photos to show you, but this is aligned, very much aligned with our route destination purposes, our destination goals. So we have honorary countries, let's say, and we try to create experiences not only for the passengers that are traveling to and from these destinations, but also for the wider public. Now, a few words about passenger segmentation. This was an interesting case because we wanted to drill down using artificial intelligence in specific segments of our passengers, of our market. We chose the US passengers because the US market is the most important market to us, the biggest in terms of volumes when it comes to foreign travelers. And this is why we wanted to see which are the personas, which are the segments, and their emotional engagement per touch point. So you can see here the 6 different personas. We call them segments here, but actually there are 6 different personas of our American travelers. And we wanted to gather data in 3 important questions here. What is important to them, when it is important, and who they are. So now there is a plethora of data and findings, both from our market surveys, but also from this passenger segmentation, in order to extract all the data we need, trying to create tailor-made experiences for them. Now, just a few words about certain tailor-made experiences in our airport. First of all, an interesting case, which was the opportunity for the passengers to order and get their food delivered at the gates. This was something that started during the pandemic, when people were very stressed. They didn't want to sit in a table at a restaurant at the airport. They were very worried, concerned about all the safety and hygiene measures. And this was a collaboration with a big food delivery provider in Greece and Athens. It's called eFood. It seemed that it worked really very well during the pandemic, and now it has been expanded to a large number of our departure gates. It seems that it is very successful so far. And then the best of Greece concept, from our market surveys and from our findings, we identified the fact that the passengers needed more of Greece in the terminal. And this is how the commercial offering during the last 2 years it started to change. So it included at a zero investment cost for the airport all those shops that offered, or the F&B that offered Greek brands or Greek products or Greek food and beverage. And this is something that turned out to be very profitable and very successful as well. Now, when it comes to the mobile agents, this was a very interesting topic because everybody loves technology, especially the younger generations. They want to be, and they are at some point, tech freaks. So they like the seamless travel. They want to use technology, but when something goes wrong, they want someone beside them to direct them how to find the solution. They want a human being to talk to them, and this is something that came out of our market surveys and all the other the tools that we used in order to find out what the passengers really wanted. And this is how we came up with a mobile agent. So people in our terminal, our staff, they have their iPads, they have an application, and they know everything that is happening at the terminal at that particular date and time. So they are able to assist, and this was really very well received by the passengers. And of course, there was a special category of passengers as well traveling with their pets. So this was also something that came up from our surveys. We needed to have some sort of specific spaces and facilities for the little ones that were traveling with their so-called families. And of course, unique treatment of very special groups of passengers. I'll have to mention too, because we're very sensitive, especially with passengers with hidden disabilities. So first of all, before the pandemic, there was a very wide training scheme, not only for the staff of the airport operator, but also the staff of other collaborating companies as well, airlines, ground handling companies, and so on. For those people, the accompanying people, and the passengers that fall within that they are within the wider spectrum of autism. Right now, this service has been expanded. It has been improved a lot. So as a matter of fact, there is a direct communication with our specific department of those people that are accompanying passengers that are within the wider spectrum of autism. And they get a very unique, a very special treatment throughout all the touch points up to the moment that they board the plane. The most recent one has to do with the support of deaf and hard of hearing persons. So we, again, this is a collaboration with a Greek startup. And in our PRM office, there is an application where people that are unique in that sense, they can go and in sign language, they can get all the information they need. And do you know, I didn't know it. I got to know it as soon as we started this collaboration. There are more than 300 authorized sign languages across the world. Now, of course, we cannot we cannot use all of them, but we have approximately 10 authorized sign languages, so people more or less can be facilitated with their journey and the information they need when they fall into this category. And just a few words about our marketing strategy and the way forward. We used to say in the past that we have the ABC marketing, the way that we try to interact and exchange information and trying to have all the market surveys and everything that we need for our airlines, our business partners, and our consumers. This was expanded, including the destination in 2011 amidst the Greek macroeconomic crisis, because we needed to do lots of actions, strategic actions for the destination. And of course, the basis of all these is E. It's the experience, and this is the basis of our approach on the way forward. Now, the next 2 to 3 years for Athens International Airport will be rather challenging because there is lots of demand. So there is a big expansion plan and construction works will start at the end of 2024, beginning of 2025. So actually, with construction works, there is the relevant disruption. So in our case, what we're trying to do, we are trying to see how we can get all the marketing sites in order to keep the level of customer experience even during this disruptive phase. If we have the required tools and practices in order to build experiences, and at the same time trying to get the best possible experience for our passengers. So market surveys and metrics are there, custom-made market survey projects are there, and specific projects, tailor-made projects. But of course, now we have a big challenge ahead of us, which is trying to bridge the gap between the perception and expectations of our passengers and the experience that they will get during this phase of disruption. So right now, we are proceeding with the passenger mapping. We try to simulate what the different customer journeys will be during the expansion phase in order to try and get all the necessary data that we need in order to formulate the passenger's experience and tailor-made experiences accordingly. And of course, as mentioned before, the gap, we try to bridge the gap. We will try to bridge the gap between expectations and prospects and the offered experiences, having in mind that we have to keep a very high level of service for our passengers. So thank you very much for your attention, and happy to discuss more.
Wow, lots of information there, Joanna. Thank you for sharing. My background's actually data and insights. So yeah, it was very interesting to see the approach, the segmentation. I noted the 4 Ps and the A, B, C, D, E. So going through the whole alphabet, appreciate come through. Definitely be time at the end to get to them. But now we do have one more speaker. So our final speaker, Roberto, will share a perspective from an
Thank you, Mike. Thank you for the invitation to the International Airport Review, and hello everyone for being here today. Let me see if I have the control. In the next minutes, I will talk about what our passenger experience approach for a personalized experience is at AENA. But first, let me start with a few figures about the company. We are a Spanish company with 46 airports and 2 heliports in Spain, but we're also present internationally in the UK with London Luton and 17 airports in Brazil, where we are already the first operator there. And we're also present in the management of other airports in Mexico, Jamaica, and Colombia. That makes AENA the largest airport operator by number of passengers worldwide, with 411 million passengers moved last year. This year, we are experiencing an increase of about more than 10% compared to last year. When we talk about a personalized experience, we like to talk about the 5 main pillars. And they are these that I'm showing. The first one, we are a network, and we have to take advantage of that to exploit that we are not only one airport, but a big variety of airports and, of course, of passengers. We may have big hubs as Madrid or Barcelona, business travelers destinations, maybe small airports in the north of Spain, but also holiday destinations as our 8 airports in the Canary Islands. Second, feedback sources. We have to be in a constant conversation with our passengers, and that means a lot of feedback. But not feedback for just having feedback. Of course, we need to manage all that data that feedback brings, and that's the third point. We have transitioned, for example, from surveys in paper to Excel files, and now we're trying to work with other tools as Power BI, where you see very fast what the data is telling you. I will show you a few examples in 2 or 3 minutes. And all of that, most of that data, I would say, we have seen that it's driven by emotions. And that's my fourth point here, the emotional engagement, how to engage our passengers with the airport and how to understand those emotions to be able to move something that can create some emotion. And last but not least, airport culture, our people, the people that create the airports and the people that create all the experiences for all the different passengers. Very briefly, I'll go through point number one. When we talk about being a network, we can say if I have to say one sentence about what that means, that is that we're sharing know-how, best practices, standards, and challenges. It's so easy for us to just write a Teams message and say, hey, Barcelona, how did you solve that? And all airports will see how it was done. And here, very fast, just a picture of a family lane that is at the Madrid-Barajas airport. That may seem very simple, but if you've traveled with children in the past, you know that's not a given. This is a full family lane that our passengers are starting to recognize as a standard of AENA, because they can find that at most of our airports. Number two, the feedback sources, the voice of the passenger. We have from traditional service or instant feedback to insights, commercial insights, input from the contact center at the airport or at home. We're reviewing Google reviews, social media, and so on. And we have more things that are considered sources to understand the passenger. For example, service to airlines, mystery passenger program, and here you see Oli, our new chatbot. Number three, data management. We had a lot of Excels with all that information, but with Power BI, I want to show you how easy it is to see the information, even if you don't want to. Here, you see a screenshot from our dashboard. We call it the passenger experience dashboard. And this is our data from the ASQ service. And you can see here how our passengers traveling, in this case, specific case, traveling from the Canary Islands to Europe in the first quarter of this year. You can see very clear that passengers traveling to Germany, for example, are much more demanding than those traveling to the UK. Another example, and this is still ASQ, we have started to use in a smarter way, I would say, the qualitative data of the survey. So we can see what people are rating the worst and what people are rating the best. For example, Essen, which means food in German. So an open question if there are some Germans in the audience. So what's the problem with the food in the Canary Islands? And best, control, and rapidez. And rapidez means something like speed or fast in Spanish. And with all of that, what do we do? If we put in a graph and we correlate every touch point or every area of the airport with, in this case, with the overall satisfaction with a statistical index, we're seeing what's more important to have a higher satisfaction and experience at the end of the day. And here you see, for example, in the upper part, gate areas throughout the airport and airport atmosphere, those areas have a higher correlation with this overall satisfaction compared to the rest. So those are some of our priorities. This is the vertical line is the overall satisfaction. So if you're to the left, you have to improve. If you're on the right, it's rather maintain. Oh, sorry, I was too fast. One more. Okay, sorry about that. The emotional engagement. People will remember what they feel, not the service. They will remember the experience. And with this slide, what I want to show here is those pictures are airports, but if we weren't here, you may not recognize them as airports, right? On the left, you have the Almeria airport, and we wanted the airport to transmit kind of the calm of that destination in the south, in Andalusia. And on the right part, that's a picture from Ibiza, and I think that it transmits the vibrant spirit of the island. So it's about the sense of place, about the engagement, but also about understanding what they are feeling now. And independently of what you want to feel, we want you to feel the rhythm. And I say that because Feel the Rhythm is the name of one of our last marketing campaigns through music. And it has been of a big success, not only at the airport with concerts, but also on social media, as you can see on these videos. And number 5, airport culture. It is important to get there, to have a passenger experience governance and with training in order to get that real employee engagement. For that, we need to raise awareness of passenger experience. Second, we need to promote teamwork. We all have to understand that our work is important for the passenger and everyone's too, that we are a team. Third, share information. Only by doing that, you will empower people. And only by doing that, you will make, at the end of the day, everyone accountable. And just to finish, I want to remember that, and that's kind of our mantra, that passenger experience is everyone's thing. And that's all by now from my side. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Roberto. And yeah, if the others could join back, Thomas and Joanna. Amazing presentation, Roberto. Yeah, what I liked particularly in that one was the cultural piece. I want to probe on it, but I'm looking into questions in the Q&A, and there's so many about commercial. So I'll jump on that one first. Probably starting with Thomas. When we're talking about some of these initiatives, we read it specifically. So looking at, is there a revenue sharing with the art gallery? That was one of the specific call outs, but I think there's a general theme of when we are looking at these tailored experiences, how do you make sure that it makes commercial sense? So Thomas, I'll ask you that question first.
Yes, there is a revenue sharing. So we would like to engage, our business partners also to for them to see the sense of being into specific place, of course, because art and the vibrant or quick move through the airport is sometimes not correlated well, but of course that not obvious kind of businesses can work together well. We're trying to be flexible to, of course, the low cost airport has to offer the obvious services, of course, in case of both Athens or the big members of AENA family, specifically offering the transfer service. Of course, we do not offer, this is not our business. We can transfer passengers, but they have to check in twice. So in this respect, we are more into one-time experience, just to go out or come over and land and go through the terminal. So in this respect, we are more into these essential services. And but normally we try to engage our partners that monetary wise as well. Let's say let's use this term as well, that they are interested in the financial end of their cooperation as well. So this is the way we have some ideas also to, because we are in the verge of rebuilding our terminal, adding 8 gates, both non-Schengen and Schengen, from both ends of the terminal, of the current terminal. So we will have some other services offered as well, but they will be still kind of essential services you know, for low-cost passengers, even not low-cost, point-to-point passengers. In this respect, it's more important division than low-cost or legacy, I would say, right? Just point-to-point. And of course, some features like this, you know, cooperation with art gallery, because we are looking for such. Of course, the additional thing of this art gallery, it is local in the way, right? So we also try to focus on Poland, central Poland, meaning Mazovia. So just, you know, coming down into the region. Of course, we have passengers all over the country. We have a lot of Ukrainians flying from working at our airport as well because of the obvious situation, right? And they start their Western European journey from here in thousands, families, mother with children flying to Western Europe. But we have also some specific offers, specific personnel devoted to them, especially at the beginning of the war. They were stressed, they were, you know, unfriendly condition, let's say. So we were specific staff and specific, you know, announcements and all this facilities to, which cost, that was a cost side for us. But of course, that was kind of, you know, human behavior from our side. So in this respect, but we try to be to show, to kind of, you know, show up this part of Poland, right? That this is something the passengers should accommodate with the vicinity of Warsaw, not of the Warsaw, but because it's a pretty popular place. But then what Mazovia is. So this is our, of course, the Spanish, you know, or Andalusia, for example, everyone knows that, right? The place, or Greek islands, right? But we have to try harder to make our regions more popular, right? People know Kraków, but of course this part of Poland has to be. So this is not the last cooperation, not obvious cooperation with this art gallery, but the next one will be also regional or local, right? To put these names, these logos, this, you know, kind of products, which are very specific. Maybe the group of interested, you know, passengers or customers is not so big, but anyhow, we are just looking for this, you know, tailor-made, you know, groups of people who are interested. So this is the way. We also, maybe the very last sentence, we also try to make some surveys, what both Joanna and Roberto also touched upon, and we have some, let's say, kind of statistical or scientific knowledge behind that, of course. Thank you.
Yeah, even with the ACI program that Roberto mentioned, they do look at, I guess, the ROI of customer experience and the uplift in incremental spend based on positive experience. I think that's the point with Joanna and Roberto. When you are talking about all of this data, how does that translate from a cultural point of view into initiatives? So I guess having the perfect data and strategy doesn't always get taken on by the team. Have you found that there's particular ways that you've engaged the team that's worked well?
Joanna.
Okay, thank you. Well, in order to engage the staff, you mean to engage the personnel and the staff, in order to have the maximum engagement in terms of passenger experience project, if I understand correctly, right? So yes, in our case, we have introduced a specific project which is called iMind. It started in the pre-pandemic era. It stopped a little bit during the pandemic. Now it has been relaunched in 2022. And what we are trying to do is for each and every employee of our company, getting into the shoes of the passenger, and from top management up to the frontliners, everybody, they have their, let's say, inspection visit at the terminal, in order to see something that it could grasp their attention, and it would need immediate corrective actions, all things that they could probably observe, and they could give a hint, hey, here, we'll have to upgrade the level of service, or there is something missing, and so on and so forth. This is something, this is a project where we all participate. There are incentives. So it's something like, like the mileage program that the airlines have. So if you have all these miles at the terminal and you accumulate them, then you have benefits as an employee. So there is also an incentive scheme behind it. But this is something that has turned out to be a very popular scheme among the employees, and it has given us a lot of insights and very good results when it comes to corrective actions or other things that we would like to improve. So this was a way that we found that it is very very successful when it comes to encouraging personnel to participate and see in the eyes of the passenger, with the eyes of the passenger. So this is something that we have introduced, and we consider that it is very successful so far.
In our case, there's something that we're doing which is a little bit similar to what you have said, Joanna. And it is a training. We have an online training for everyone on passenger experience and airport culture, but we have started with a pilot project. So I think now it's more than a pilot project with an on-site training, and we want our colleagues to go to the terminal and not to a training room, but to the boarding area. And there we have a kind of theory minutes where we talk about different things, but then we want them to, well, they're wearing a vest, and we want them to, let's say, face the passenger and feel their stress, their anxiety, and answer their questions. We want them to empathize, but at the same time to know their colleagues. For example, in Madrid, we are about at Madrid Barajas Airport around 1,000 AENA employees. They don't know each other, and this is a good opportunity for that too, and to make everyone understand that passenger experience has to be at the core of our operations, and that every small interaction with the passenger counts, and that's what people will bring home. And when any airport employee of the airport community says hello or smiles, they're doing that on behalf of the airport, and we have to remember that.
That's brilliant. I think that's a good way to wrap up. In terms of if we are, as an airport, looking to introduce new initiatives, what should we consider for tailoring that experience? So the data and the positivity, but I guess what are those other factors that you think about?
Sorry, for who is it?
So I'll throw it to Thomas maybe. So Thomas and Joanna, if you are looking to introduce a new initiative.
Just a short sentence. We are looking for different similar providers of similar services, low cost, primarily low cost airport. Of course, we try to learn from legacy big airports also, to have some additional services in front, to come over in front of the customer. But of course, we are limited by the size of the airport. That's also the difference between our friends and very far simpler facility. But of course, online services, any place, we are just counting square meters we try to rent for different for example, we thought that some electronic appliances at airports would be a good solution, but at the end of the day, it figured out that people are apart from the small number of passengers who are losing something, they just forgot at the bus or car. They try to buy some electronic stuff, but normally it's not the airport, it's not the place too much, at least such airport like ours, to open such even a small kind of facility dealing with some electronic equipment. So we are just always trying to be innovative, to be flexible, and to answer questions for from the side of our passengers. For example, our eastern customers, let's say, they like to have wrapping machines for the luggage, right? So because they feel that it's more safe or secure when when there is, you know, using this service as well. So these are also some cultural differences in attitudes of passengers. Of course, in your case, you have more experience because you have more diverse, culturally diverse, you know, number of customers. But we also are open for that. And of course, the very last thing, which is also global, we see. I saw a lot of publications in our language, in English, of course, in recent months about, you know, the cash which is going out, right? Cashless society, and we see that this is absolutely the future, right? So less cash every month, I would say, right? This is also a phenomenon which is ongoing.
Thank you. Sorry, my connection seems to have cut out a bit. But yeah, final question, sorry, for Joanna. What considerations should airports factor in when thinking about new tailored initiatives?
Well, data is key. Actually, we invest a lot in market surveys and trying to get all the findings that we need. We proceed with passenger segmentation with different personas. I have to say that in our airport, 2/3 of our traffic they are foreigners, they are not Greeks, and 2/3 are international. So actually, we have to get to know the passengers, and this is very important. And when we get to know the passengers, then we'll have to use technology somehow, to invest in technology, but harnessing data and technology for a human experience that works. This is something that we have seen in the terminal. So data on the one hand, investing in technology on the other, this is key. And of course, this is something that we are now taking a lot into consideration because, as mentioned, during the next 2 to 3 years, if you happen to pass by Athens International Airport, there will be lots of construction works. So bear with us. We try to make the experience the best possible, but technology there is also key. Data and technology, this is the combination. But and just one more thing. Human presence is also important. This is something that we have found out from our surveys. Technology works, and when everything works, technology is fine. But if something goes wrong, then everybody needs to have the human presence by them. So we need somehow to find the balance between the three. So thank you.
Cool.
I completely agree.
Thank you.
If I may add, very brief, I completely agree with you, Joanna. We are always talking about getting digital. We have passengers who want everything digital to have 100% seamless experience, but others don't. So we have to offer that flexibility. We have to make sure that passengers can decide, because they're telling us that they want to decide how to make their journey more tailored. And what you said, Joanna, even those using our app, and if it goes wrong, they want to know that there's a human team behind caring of them and fixing that.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. I'll hand back to Chloe to close.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Unfortunately, that's all that we have time for today. Thank you so much to the audience for all of your fantastic questions. And please join me in thanking Mike, Thomas, Ioana, and Roberto for their time today. As you exit the platform, a survey will appear on your screen asking you to rate today's webinar, so please do take a moment to provide your feedback.